This story begins as it is fated to end, with hatred plunged through the chest of a god.
It's about me killing the god that I was made to kill.
You are my downfall.
I'll fix the problem.
Huh?
I'll make you dead.
What? Which limb do you take from them first?
Oh my god.
I am Litany, daughter of Queen Sigu, the first fallen, Lord of Death. Kill or be killed.
That's an overkill.
Oh,
That's an
13.
That's a overkill. That's an overkill. You lose yourself to righteous fury.
Just get out of the way.
Our people must be strong.
Why am I like this? I am made of you.
This is my becoming.
This is my becoming.
What's the matter?
Let me fix that. It's smudged. Here.
Those cracks are sealing up.
They were never meant to be opened.
As she strains away from vengeance and hatred and fury and toward love.
And I would like to wield a power. Not my own. Theirs. And I will use it against them.
Litany, would you like to kill a god? Hello, transplainers, and welcome one and all once again to Last Hope Week! Thank you all so very much for joining us to celebrate 5 years of Transplaner RPG with this extremely special mega rerun. Half a decade. Oh my goodness. No matter if you're tuning in right now for the first or the 200th or the 5-yearth time, we are Transplaner RPG, an all transgender, people of color led dark fantasy actual play channel telling stories set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist multiverse. This means we stand against genocide and ethnic cleansing and support all oppressed peoples of this world struggling against injustice, imperialism, and colonization. Now more than ever, we must use our voices to build solidarity and fight for the worlds that we wish to see. So to that end, free Sudan, free DRC, free Palestine, abolish ICE, abolish the police, and free all oppressed peoples of this world. Thank you for showing up to support our story. If you're watching this right now, you are here for the series rerun of Godkiller Last Hope with episodes 5 and 6. Oh my goodness, this is like the penultimate set.
5 years? Episode 5? That feels
Episode 5 years? Yeah.
How fortuitous.
That is very fortuitous, right? But first, please allow me to introduce my scrumptubulous, magnivarvelous co-host for the evening, C. Thomas.
I like that these get a little bit more strange every day.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
A little stranger every time. Well, thank you for that introduction, Connie. I'm C. Hi, hello, I use they, them pronouns, and you can find me making very trans gay art on here. Excellent. Woohoo!
Great. Thanks for that, C.
That's
your intro.
That's what I'm bringing to the table tonight.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. Tonight, we have the absolute pleasure of raising funds for Care for Gaza. It is an on-the-ground organization in Gaza that delivers urgently necessary aid to Palestinians currently surviving a genocide. We are looking to hit $500 donated for our rerun series. Fingers crossed for that. So use !donate in the Twitch chat to help us smash that goal and support a cause that is both very crucial and very vital right now. If you are in the YouTube live, our donation link is currently pinned to the top of chat. Again, that's $500 for today and tomorrow. Can we hit it? I believe we can. I believe in us.
I do too. We've already got $5 on the board, which is an amazing.
Oh my goodness, that's huge!
Absolutely
Great, yeah.
lovely.
Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Thank you so much. In the meanwhile, are we ready to go back to Yaolan? Because this week we are marathoning a rerun of Godkiller Last Hope, which is where you are. We are watching the entire series from start to finish. And we are currently past the midpoint now, and we're continuing our rewatch with episodes 5 and 6. Fans of Zoe will enjoy tonight's series of episodes. I know I will. Unlike previous weeks, we are not going to be making commentary on stream, but we will be howling about the Butch for Butch dynamic playing out on tonight's screen in the chat with all of you. So get comfortable, grab your bingo cards, and enjoy the show.
Yes, and in order to enjoy the show, here are some self-care tips as per Sam Star. Godkiller Last Hope is a dark fantasy actual play series that deals with content that may be triggering to some viewers. Content warnings for this rerun may include fantasy violence, body horror, war, trauma, grief, interpersonal conflict, death, killing, physical compulsion, blood, alcohol and drunkenness, interpersonal conflict, familial conflict with physical confrontation, kidnapping, and brief sounds of spitting. That's a lot, so if you're in the Twitch chat, you can use !CW at any time to remember what these content warnings are. And YouTube chat, don't worry, I'm going to copy and paste these content warnings in the chat in just a second. But for now, I think it's time to roll episode 5!
I think it's time!
Woo!
All right. See you on the other side, Transplay Nerds. Let's watch.
Welcome to Godkiller Last Hope. My name is Zoe Williams, and as the dramaturg for this production, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the viciously divine world of The Cradle. Last Hope is a dark fantasy series that deals with heavy topics, and content warnings will be shared before the show begins. Last Hope is performed live and in studio by Connie Chong and C. Thomas. Previously on Godkiller Last Hope, Litany and Tiansheng arrive in the new Mudan village, a rebel encampment led by Rui, a young sage who wields the mandate of heaven. The rebels plan to attack the capital of Chuin with the help of Prince Wu, who has defected from his father's cause and joined the rebellion. Litany doesn't join the rebels' cause, but agrees to travel with them to reach the Ascension Gate at the capital. During the journey, the rebels stumble into one of King Wu's marching armies, and the two collide. A full recap of this and previous episodes can be found at transplanerrpg.com. And now, the game begins.
Godkiller Last Hope is a dark fantasy actual play series that deals with serious and potentially triggering topics. Viewer discretion is advised. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, body horror, war, trauma, grief, interpersonal conflict, death, killing, physical compulsion, blood, alcohol and drunkenness, and brief sounds of spitting.
Litany, you are very familiar with violence. After all, you are one of its most prolific merchants. But this violence, this is not a violence you immediately understand. After all, this is violence on a mortal scale. So much more desperate, so much more personal. As you and Tiansheng run against the tide of rebels dispersing throughout this wooded mountain, you hear cries from the soldiers rushing up the hill to greet you like a tide of crimson and gold. Traitor! Traitor! Traitors! Get them! Get them! You hear that rising from the voices of these soldiers, and you hear from the rebels, to the winds! Disperse! Run! Flee! And then you and Tiansheng smash into the first wave of soldiers. As you do, you hear Tiansheng shout at you before her voice is swallowed by the melee. Just tap them! You're really strong! You'll kill them otherwise! Just tap them!
Tap them.
And then she gets swallowed by the fray. So, do you tap them or do you go all in?
Tap them is the first thing in Litany's mind. Usually it's so
instinctual. There's nothing in there really when they're fighting. So tap them is the first thing. And it's almost like when they were training with Suesian. Any kind of new element added to battle is always exciting, is always new, is always something that Litany will sink their teeth into and refuse to let go of. So tap them just becomes another command for them to follow, really.
You're good at following orders.
I would like to do as I'm told.
Not even inflict violence for this? That's saucy. So answer one of these two. Say how you show submission. How are you rewarded, or what vulnerability do you reveal?
All right, well, their first instinct is not to do what they want to do. Their first instinct is to listen to the most commanding person in the room. And in that way, that is the vulnerability that they reveal. Even if they want to punch, it's that they can be honestly pretty easily manipulated.
Okay, so moving right along, would you like to answer how are you rewarded, or what vulnerability do you reveal?
That's the vulnerability.
Oh my god, I love that. Okay, so you are rewarded by the fight. There's no greater reward. So you collide with the first person, who's this big armored frontline infantry guy. He's swinging a Dao blade that looks remarkably similar to Prince Wu's Dao blade. This must be one of the military's many kinds of swords that they supply their infantry with. And he goes, "Ah!" and crashes down on you. You come up, the blade hits your gauntlet and chips against it. And there's in bullet time we see a look of like, turn to, right, as like the steel like pings off up into the air,
And then the arm comes up and around to come down and punch him in the jaw. But just at the last moment, they remember tap him, so it comes up and then doop.
The chin is the one place on his body that's not covered by armor. So he has a helm, big pauldron, scale, but you're still tapping him, ding, and you feel it. Magic. The armor, the helm, even the sword are ringing with an enchantment. This must be that Tianli god's blessing. And that is why you don't just straight up kill this guy, punch his literal fucking head off. He's just immortal. You're the god killer. He shoots up into the air and vanishes into the trees, and then you hear an impact somewhere behind you, and then a groaning noise to suggest he's still alive but out of commission.
One.
And then two other infantry members are on you.
The fight is instantaneous, and again, there's this kind of ringing passion for it, and this new element of play. Everything, all of the stakes have always been so high for Litany. It's always you must kill the Emperor Longdu, and every god that they've slewn on their way to that was a test. And if they failed, there was no failure, there was no room for failure. But here, the stakes are so different, the stakes are so low, in a way. They're like the biggest they've ever been and also the lowest they've ever been. So this is a way of moving, a way of fighting that Litany has literally never experienced before. And there's a way that they slam their hand into the metal and dent someone's breastplate in. And they just kind of look at their hand for a minute coming back, recognizing the power in it, the power that they wield.
Yeah, I think that's what's really sinking into you here, because it's kind of like you are a shepherd with a sword wandering into a flock of helpless lambs. And though the lambs might try to bleat and some might even throw themselves against you, nothing's stopping you from just killing them off with a single swipe of your sword. You have never felt more powerful. The only other foes you fought have been demons and gods. They are big, they are strong. Even the lower ranking demons are stronger than the strongest non-cultivator mortal. So this is a walk through the woods.
No, this is soul shepherding.
That's right, and you have learned over the century of being a soul shepherd how to wield that stick, wield your call with responsibility. So how do you wield it now? Do you give in to the bloodlust that has been trained into you, the violence, the no mercy, show no pain, kill or be killed, that final tenet running through your head, kill or be killed? Why don't you kill them? Why don't you just draw blood? Why do you keep tapping? Or do you stop and fight for real?
Show no mercy. Know no pain. Kill or be killed. The tenets are separate, but they're interwoven like a braid. Show no mercy, know no pain. There is no person here that could make them feel pain. So the others start to crumble under that. Show no mercy, but there are no foes here. Not really. Kill or be killed, no one here could kill me. So how could I be killed in this moment? It's not actually possible for that to happen here. Not like this. And so the tenants, instead, they're looking for that guidance, that guiding star, and their eyes fly to wherever Tiangshan is.
You see no fewer than 15 men kind of in like a pile on top of each other, and then boom, they explode outward with a flurry of volition. The staff, there's a moment as they arc through the air in a perfect crescendo of violence and hit the ground like heavy raindrops. They groan, the divinity cracking off of their shattered armor, but they don't get back up. And Tiansheng whirls around again, sees you, as you, I think, aren't even looking as someone else is coming from you, from the side. They like hit the ground. She sees you and goes, good, yeah, just like that. And like swings her staff around again. But this time, when she comes back down, and like cracks it against the soldier's helm and they crumple, she sees something through the clearing, through the crumpling of that body that catches her eye. And you see her focus narrow in on a single person, the only person here who's on top of a horse. The general of this army, its commanding officer. We see at the bottom of this hill, but riding up faster and faster, stronger and stronger, harder and harder, a man with short, dark hair, a fierce and hungry expression, the closest expression to a god's hunger you've seen reflected on a mortal's face. He has a massive club with spikes in it strapped to his back, a club, a bludgeoning device. And he's got a sharp pauldron on one shoulder and this fur-lined armored cape against his legs. And he's wearing the insignia of a high-ranking officer. He looks different from these regular infantry, right, in their little gold and red. This guy is a cut above. And his horse looks as fearsome as him, this brown steed that and is a clear war horse. And this man makes eye contact with Tiansheng, and you see something spark in his eyes, a recognition, an eagerness. And then he reaches for the club at his back and brandishes it in a strange flowing motion. And then he reaches over to the side, jumps onto the ground and slams the earth with the club. And then you feel it, a cultivator's magic, exploding upward in these perforations of pure magic, jagged edges of unseen force, punch through the bodies of fallen soldiers around where you have just met them. And horrifyingly, you hear the cracking of bones, the groaning of soldiers as they kind of arch themselves back up into the fray, as this man's cultivation technique, his magic, causes his fallen infantry, his fallen men to push themselves past the breaking point to keep fighting you. And that series of soldiers that Tiansheng just felled, kind of like almost like they're levitating, cracking upward. They're forcibly moved to draw their weapons again and stagger toward her. And Tiansheng's eyes pull away from this general, and she looks back with horror at these men. If she keeps fighting them, she will have to kill them. But he's forcing them to fight anyway. So you see her starting to get backed up, like trying to shove them off without hurting them even more, shoving. How would you like to tackle this situation?
The first thing that happens is Litany falls into a memory. As the bones begin to crack, these people begin to rise. They remember when they were younger, still training, not yet prepared for their destiny. Suixian teaching them how to bind their own bones on their hands so they could keep punching, keep going, never stop, never stop, never stop, kill or be killed. And that harmony rings in them. It flares back to life again. And their eyes, bright as blood, land on him, the general.
Would you like to recognize a god or feel someone or something out? I'll let you choose. Like, figure out what kind of power, what this is, what he's up to.
Can I recognize a god and include Jianli in that, and
Yeah.
the way that these soldiers' armor are also empowered?
Absolutely. So roll 2d6 and add one for each true statement. You're in or near their domain. Yes. You're familiar with their gospel. I don't think so. It'd be bad if you didn't know. Yes. Very bad.
All right, +2. 6 and a 5, 13.
That is a 13. That's an overkill. On an overkill, you realize your divinity is actively trespassing against them right now. The GM will say how. So, yes, you do recognize it. Obviously, this is Jianli's blessing, but this man is a cultivator. So he's not just wearing blessed armor and wielding blessed weapons like these infantry. These soldiers are not cultivators, they're just regular people. He's using his own magic and wielding a blessed weapon. That club is clearly enchanted by this patron god. There's something else too. The trespass. You don't belong here. You are an agent of the underworld, not only in the cradle, you're in an area of the cradle that Jianli is supposedly protecting. So all of these soldiers, half of them go to Tiansheng, the other half, a spark of the magic animating them, quirks their ears in your direction, and they pivot and they turn. And now these broken, battered mortals who you just knocked down come surging at you again. And they're kind of like almost like reanimated dead. They will keep going until they reach muscular failure, which is usually even past the point of death. So before this general does one more thing I want to show you with your overkill, how do you deal with these soldiers? Or do you cross the line and kill them?
Litany is no longer interested in these soldiers, even as a game, even as a new way of playing, a new way of fighting. That lion, that shepherd that they are, this is what they do, protect their flock in a way. And suddenly these mortals are their flock. Their eyes keep flicking to the side to make sure that the rebels are leaving, that they're going, that they're running, that they're not being chased, that everything is going according to plan, making sure that they're safe. And they see the movement of these people. They know exactly how creatures in herds tend to move. And they see it all laid out before them. And I think for a moment, it's strange. They become animal. They crouch down and they push themselves up off the ground as one soldier is surging toward them. They use his hip to pivot one foot off of up, and then the other up on his shoulder up. And then they are running along the tops of these soldiers, 1 foot here, 1 foot here, 1 foot here, just using them.
You're literally stepping on them. Stepping stones.
I'm using them as stepping stones to get to the general.
Oh, I love this. So I'll tell you the final thing you notice as you step and get closer and closer to him. He's turned his attention away from you, though you've noticed he's marked you as you've marked him, because he's reaching into the folds of that furred cape, and he has pulled out a device. No, a weapon that looks nothing like something this particular general would wield. He has a club. He's got hunger on his face. This is a weapon that is precise. It's a hand crossbow. It's black with striations of gems through it, as befits a patron god of the mountains, and he pulls out a bolt made of pure golden ore, and he puts it on top of the crossbow and cocks it back, and he's aiming it at Tiansheng, who has her back turned to him as she's dealing with all of these soldiers and trying really hard, concentrating extremely intensely not to break them, not to kill them. And something about the vibration of that bolt sings in a way that resonates with you, like recognizing like. In the overkill, I'll just give it to you. You realize what this bolt can do. It can shatter a mortal's soul. Doesn't matter if they're a regular mortal, doesn't matter if they're a cultivator. They'll die. It'll reach that narrow, fragile place where soul tethers to body and cut through it in one single blow. He's aiming it at Tiansheng.
No, he's not.
No?
He's aiming it at me. The choice happens so fast that Litany doesn't even realize that they've made it. There are two options. They go to him, they fight, they kill or be killed, they show no mercy, they know no pain. The other choice, the one that they make instantaneously, is easy, is in a lot of ways mortal. They simply put their body between her and the bolt.
Of fucking course you do. Why was I expecting you to jump him and knock it out of his hand? I love this so much. I'm not even gonna have you tempt fate because your goal is to just take it for her. So you're gonna take what would have happened to her. He pulls the trigger and it comes out. And there's bullet time as you see this golden bolt whizzing through the air and it cuts you right through where the chest would be. Your hands go up to try to catch it, yes?
Not to catch it, just to hold them there.
To brace it. The bolt goes in and it hits that void black soul of yours that Tiansheng had remarked upon not 1 week ago. And you feel it. Every tether of 3 points of strain sundering through your spirit. What are you at? 4. Okay, one more and you would basically die. So yeah, you know intimately, you feel viscerally, physically in your body, the death that Tiansheng would have suffered. The death you've taken in her stead. And the bolt still lodged in your chest feels like an ember burning. Do you pull it out or do you push it through?
No pain. Litany staggers as the bolt connects with them. Backward 3 steps. And they take their hand, open the fist, and plunge their fingers into the bleeding hole at their chest, dig for a moment forward, and then hand around the hilt. Out.
And your blood is red. The same blood of mortals. The same blood as the blood of the immortal Emperor Long Du, Grand Adjudicator of the game. The blood of the Godkiller. The red dribbles down the shaft of this golden bolt. And then you hear the magic that would allow it to pierce the soul of any mortal begin to sizzle, sing, and fade away as its only round is spent.
And they crack it in their fist.
It doesn't just snap, it shatters like glass into so many different shards, and then it turns into dust? No, mist, like fog off the surface of the shattered river, and it away into the breeze. And you see the general who is holding the empty hand crossbow lower it, stare at you across the way. Retreat! He shouts to his men. And he turns and gallops off. And the soldiers who are hale enough turn, they pause looking at you. Some of them were chasing after the rebels, but they all heed their general's call. As in that moment, this cultivator, he is strong. Definitely strong enough to command an army, and definitely strong enough to know when he's been outclassed in a fight of pure power. So he flees, and he makes no instruction to help the men he's left behind. Those men, empowered by that broken magic, now with their caster speeding off, the spell breaks and they shatter onto the ground, groaning, desperate, rolling around. And you stagger too. You don't feel good. In fact, you feel very, very bad. Blood rises in your throat. You must cough it out. A globule of crimson against the fallen leaves. You're about to fall over.
No, I'm not.
You are. You're falling over. And as you tip, Tiansheng catches you. You feel rough hands, calloused hands, hands raised in the wilderness. You smell her now. She's close enough to you. Incense, oranges, peaches, something fruity and yet masculine. She catches you. Hey, Litany! Gods above and demons below. Are you okay? What the hell was that?
109.
What?
Beat you.
Don't be ridiculous. You do not look well. I've never seen you bleed. You can bleed? No, I don't bleed. Then what's this pouring out of your chest right now? Come on, hey, we've gotta catch up with the rest of the rebels. They must be setting up camp somewhere nearby. They'll have a healer. I'll get you medicine. Come on. And she starts to try to support you moving forward, but I think your legs literally give out underneath you. Full strain, you're one away from death. And as you stagger forward, instead of letting you fall into the ground, you feel something swoop you up. She scoops you from behind your knees and cradle carries you. And you look up into her face as she looks down at you. Are you gonna punch me in the face? Okay, I think I deserve it. Go for it. Come on. Okay, wow, yeah, you are really fucked up right now. Come on. And then you feel like a kind of bouncing sensation as she carries you down the hill, and your like eyes waver, your sight wavers, and then it goes black. And Litany, when you wake up, it hasn't been a lot of time, a few hours at most. There's still light, but the light is muted. It's pouring through the canvas of a tent somewhere. And beyond the canvas, before your eyes even open, you hear the sounds of the rebels. You've grown to learn their voices over the past 5 days traveling with them. You smell something cooking, maybe some kind of early dinner, and the chattering sounds excited. It sounds victorious, determined. You also smell, the pungent, bitter smell of medicine. Ooh, and it's really thick. It's really strong, especially coming from you. Your chest. And when your eyelids flutter open, you feel a deep pain in your sternum, and you can feel cloth wraps and a kind of poultice underneath it. And as you come to, you realize you are, sure enough, inside a tent. And there she is, Tiansheng. She's sitting next to where you're laying on a bedroll, her back turned to you, and she's doing something with a bowl and a grinder. She's kind of muttering to herself. Doesn't seem to have noticed you're awake now.
Litany almost forgets that they're in the mortal realm. They expect to see the dark halo of the sky, the red, and when it's light that hits their eyes, when it's smells, sensations, sounds, mortals, mortality, life, they lean into it for a fragment of a moment. And their eyes open as the pain flares. Pain. They're not supposed to know that. They're supposed to push that down. Living is garbage. Ow.
You're awake. A clattering of the grinder against the bowl, a turning. Bright black eyes. Hey, I'm moving in. How are you feeling?
Fine.
Drink some of this. It's rancid, but it will help you. Just get it, just knock it back like a shot.
Tastes like home.
Of course it does. Sorry, I just thought that was kind of endearing. How are you feeling?
Did we win?
Yeah.
Right.
We won. He retreated. That coward.
Who was that?
That must be that new general the prince was talking about. General Xiong. He replaced him when he got demoted.
He has hunger in him.
Hunger?
Violence.
I guess you know that pretty well, huh? You fight like a monster. I mean that in a good way. You remind me of the animals in the wilds. You know? The strong tigers of the mountains. The boars, the bears. I fight like a monkey, you know? Like an antelope sometimes, but like a really buff, muscular antelope.
This is the part of the conversation where Tiangshen starts to just kind of talk ambiently. And I think Litany takes a moment to look around the tent, acknowledge everything through hazy eyes, and then it moves on to that mission, that heartbeat. Time has passed. The gate.
I have to get up and go to the gate.
Hold on. You're not fit to go anywhere in this state.
But we have to go.
I know, I understand. But there's a few days left until the Ghost Festival, okay? You've got time. And you can't, you want to kill Longdu. And you can't exactly do that in this state. Can you imagine? You, fucked up like this? Killing the Emperor? I don't think so. You need to recover, right? Or else you'll just get sent back down again.
They hate that she's right, but she is.
That medicine will help. Our, one of the healers in the rebel group made it personally. You should feel better come nightfall. And there's something else too. I wanted to thank you. You saved my life. I saw you shatter that bolt. I felt the magic. I knew what it could do. So, thank you. I mean, you didn't have to, right? You could have just let it kill me and then taken the river seal and run.
No. I need you for the river seal.
Right. I guess a part of me thought maybe you'd grab one of those messed up soldiers and force them to bring you up, but I don't think you would do that. No, your soul is heavy, but it's not... It doesn't thirst for slaughter, I think, in the way that I thought it did. You tapped them.
It's not like they could hurt me.
That's true. They couldn't really hurt me either. So it's not right to just kill them, right? I mean, killing, I just don't like killing in general. That's the part of the natural kingdom that I wish didn't have to happen, but it does. And I understand why animals do it, I do. But people, when we don't have to, wars, that's just... But I'm getting ahead of myself. Hey, you should come with me. There are people out in the camp who want to thank you too.
What?
Yeah, and the medicine should be working well enough for you to be able to walk around. It'll be good for you to re-up your constitution. Come on. And she helps you up. And as she does, you notice that her Hua Dian, that sigil between her eyebrows that she always wears, paints a new one every day, is slightly smudged from the fight.
Hold on.
What?
And Litany puts their finger underneath their robes and daubs a little bit of blood. Let me fix that.
What's the matter?
It's smudged. Here. Oh. Better.
Yeah. Better. Thank you.
We can go now.
Your blood is warm.
What?
The rest of you is cold, but your blood is warm. Yeah, let's go. And takes your hand, grabs it, and pulls you out. And just like Tiansheng said, the rebels are excited to thank you, and they are so grateful. As soon as you step outside of the tent, you see this camp full of tents, full of bustling motion, somewhere parked at the foothills of the Amethyst Chain, a day or two away from the capital itself. And then you're mobbed by people. And just like the scenes at the hamlets and the townships that you and Tiansheng would pass through on your way to the chain, you are showered with gifts. People pushing bowls of hot porridge and congee into your hands, youtiao, dumplings, strips of meat, fish even, just straight up just fish meat into your hands. And they're thanking you and thanking you. They're clapping you gently on the back. Some people grab onto your shoulders and look at you with tears in their eyes and profusely thank you. Thank you for being part of the cause. Thank you for saving us. You and Tiansheng, you are an unbeatable pair. All these things, so much gratitude. And they thank Tiansheng too. As you are laden with gifts, you see Tiansheng similarly being bestowed with gratitude and favors and presents. And you see in this moment Tiansheng limned by the campfire light, and you see her for what she is. a weapon, just like you. A weapon for these people, but they don't just see her as a weapon. They also see her as a friend, a companion, an equal. And as for her, this is the path she's choosing. Not what she needs to do, but what she wants to do. And that difference to you is so stark as mortal blood on snow.
Everything in this world is so beautiful. They put all their gifts down on the ground because they don't know where else to put them. But they take one of the presents, I think a small slice of meat, and they put it in their mouth even though they don't have to eat, just to taste it.
It's salty, it's a little tough, it's one of those dried jerky rations, but it's real. It's real. And you chew it, and when you swallow it, it tastes good, going down into the depths of your soul. And this is how the night passes, with people coming up to you, giving you presents, some people even sitting next to you by the fire and thanking you in a genuine way, telling you their stories, telling you who they are, why they care about this cause, the winds of change, telling you about Tiansheng, bonding with you over how great she is, though it is fairly one way. They tell you about how awesome she is, and then they say, oh, well, we don't need to tell you that, you two seem so close. And then you see Tiansheng too, rotating throughout the camp, drinking a lot, drinking with these big gourds of wine, just God damn, she can put it away. She's celebrating. It's a victory. You notice her getting kind of unsteady as she drinks. And at one point during the night, she comes up to you, a little punch drunk, but mostly lucid. She sits down onto a log next to you and says, hey, how are you feeling?
Loud?
Not too loud, I hope?
It's fine.
Hey, listen, that medicine of yours should be kicking in real good by the night, but I know this place. It's, she seems to, brace herself, almost, gather some kind of courage. Maybe the drink is helping her with that. It's a hot spring. Yeah, I know it really well. I know these foothills. I grew up here in the chain. And it's got these nice waters, a really healing property. It'll help seal up that wound, relax your muscles. You should meet me there tonight when you're done with the party.
Okay.
Okay? Great. All right, I'll see you there. But first I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink a lot. Because of the victory. Yeah, I'm just celebrating the drink. No other reason. Another gourd! And she gets up from the log and rushes off, and you see her chug another gourd and vanish into the crowd.
Litany watches her for a moment, and that tug, that insistence that they had for all of their travel of, I need to stick by your side, it's not even a passing thought.
It's just not there. A clear sky.
It's nice.
It is. Litany, it's really nice. This whole night. The people coming up to you, it's overwhelming, yes, but there is a genuine nature to the way they thank you. There is a truth. They're grateful for what you've done. Not just that, but they're grateful that you, Litany, you have chosen to join them. That's the refrain you keep hearing. Thank you for choosing to join us. We could really use someone like you. Thank you. And close to the end of the night, Rui approaches you. The leader of the rebels has been swarmed with duties, busyness, all of that, this entire time. And she sits down on the log next to you, turns to you with a smile. She looks a little tired, but happy. And she says, I hope you haven't been too exhausted tonight. And I hope you haven't been worn out of thank yous, because I do have to thank you as well.
It's your journey. It's important for all of us to get there.
That's right. We have a shared goal, getting to Chuancheng. Still, you do have my genuine and sincere appreciation. Were it not for you, we may have lost Tiansheng. She is strong. She's the strongest cultivator I've ever met. and I think she still hasn't reached the full height of her potential. I think she may actually be destined for apotheosis. But she does have her flaws, we all do. One of them is her single-mindedness. It's also what makes her strong, but some people can exploit that. She's direct and honest, which makes her vulnerable to being tricked. Traps. Misdirection. So thank you for keeping an eye out for that. You're well-versed in violence.
And the honesty comes out of Litany without the meaning for it, too. I think it might be all I know.
Well, it doesn't have to be. After you finish your business with the Ascension Gate, whatever it might be, you are more than welcome to join us, keep traveling with us, see where it goes. We could really use someone like you. Who knows, maybe you could help us make decisions on the battlefield, help train our troops. Not just be a soldier, but a teacher, a mentor.
I had a mentor.
They must have been very talented. Where are they now? Perhaps we could reach out to them, use their help.
No.
I understand. Well, enjoy the night. Oh, yes, one more thing. Tiansheng wanted me to tell you that the hot spring is ready? Something about a special surprise? I assume you know what that means.
Yes. Before you go, I have one question for you.
Of course, anything.
When you talk about mortal lives worth living, what does that mean?
It means something different to everyone. Some people think a life worth living is one of luxury, opulence, earthly delights, pleasures, and wealth. Others think it's a simple life, one that you spend in nature, surrounded by loved ones, or even by yourself, with just the company of your own thoughts. Still others think that a life worth living is one with a big family, lots of children, lots of uncles, lots of grandparents. And still, to others, it means something entirely different. A life dedicated to the arts, to technology, to innovation, to just being themselves, whatever that means. But that's the key part. Whatever that means. Every life should be a life worth living. And that always means that the person living that life should be able to make choices that truly matter.
Thank you. I'm glad you have the mandate of heaven. You are a leader worth following.
I appreciate you saying that, and I hope that I will always deserve the mandate. Just as quickly as it is bestowed, it can be taken away.
I should go to the spring.
Yes, have fun with your surprise, whatever it might end up being. But I only kid.
What is a surprise?
What do you mean?
I'll find out.
Okay. Enjoy yourself. I'll understand if we don't see you for the rest of the night. All right then. And she stands up, turns, and goes. And as you start to make your way over to the hot spring, something interesting is that through all these celebrations, you don't see Prince Wu. He's not out and about, and you remember that look of shame on his face. Perhaps he's hiding away.
Perhaps for the best.
Perhaps for the best.
Litany doesn't like to see him.
Why don't you like Prince Wu?
Because he's impossible. Because he's a mirror they don't want to look into. It's like recognizing like on a level that Litany is fighting tooth and nail to avoid. He's impossible, and impossibility just like them. He is a royal father who leads, who asks for him to fulfill a purpose. And he's run from that. He's fleed. And Litany can't recognize how similar they are. How much the thought has crossed their mind in the hours that they will not speak of. Because they can't. But he did. He's doing it. He's there.
And he's alive.
And he's alive. And he's what? Loved?
Accepted? Welcomed?
Accepted?
Forgiven is not the right word. There was no forgiveness in Rui's face for what Prince Wu chose to do to her community, to her home. There was sorrow. There was understanding. There was a willingness to give a second chance, to work with him.
Redemption.
This is not a story about redemption. Not in the way you think. You find your way to the hot springs, these thoughts milling through your mind you barely noticed when the noise from the camp behind you faded into just the dark, the night, the summer crickets, and eventually a waterfall. Water splashing into a pool, and then the steam is what pulls you out of your own thoughts. A heady, thick, fog-like, warm steam. You part through the branches of a tree, and there you see it. The hot springs. It's a small pool, large enough for a few people, a few animals, perhaps, and a waterfall from a nearby crevice in a rock pours into it. It's so dark that the surface of the water seems black, and that feels familiar. A river of blood, a river of obsidian. But what isn't familiar are the stars reflected down onto the surface of that water, and you're struck with a memory of you cupping your hand out from the awning of a temple to drink of the rain. You wonder how this water would taste, this star water. And there's something else too. Flowers. A fresh bloom of flowers, all of them red, the same flower Tiansheng plucked for you on your travels. The same exact species now in bouquets, big blooming bushes of them all around the pool. The smell is fragrant and pleasant and sweet. This must be the surprise. Tiansheng is nowhere to be found, not yet. Perhaps you beat her here.
That's strange.
That is strange. Rui told you that she was ready already. Your eyes fall around the edges of the pool and you see the top half of her sash. Abandoned there, left there, taken off between two bushels of flowers.
Litany isn't sure how surprises work, but this doesn't quite feel right, they think. And so there's some time, not very much time, but some time where Litany just waits. They come to the edge of the pool, sit down. They honestly can't believe how much it hurt to make it just here, 500 bu away from camp. Hardly anything. But the Ghost Festival is coming so soon. And I think they do take a handful of water and bring it to their mouth to drink.
And it's hot. It's really hot, hotter even than the rain. It reminds you of those iron-hot needles that's always in the tea in the demon world.
Everything here is so warm.
And it's nice, too. Going down your throat, it burns, but it fills you with warmth.
They watch the stars reflected in the pool. And I think their hands ambiently wander to Tiansheng's sash. And their fingers curl around the fabric. Gently. Not a fist for punching. for holding.
That's new.
It is new. Everything is so new. They feel alive for the first time.
There's something, a noise. It's thrumming. At first you think a war drum? No, it's coming from inside you.
Still?
A heartbeat.
They hoped it would maybe stop.
It's still going. Now you become more aware of it than ever. Just you, the trickling of the water, this starry pool. And you wait. You wait for Tiansheng. You wait for her to arrive, to come back, whichever one of the two. A minute passes, then 5, 10. When 15 minutes pass, that uncertainty about the surprise begins to crystallize into an idea for you. What idea is that?
A playing at mortality? There's a wondering, I think. Maybe this is the surprise. Maybe they're just supposed to be here. But that doesn't seem quite right. She should be here too, shouldn't she? And Litany looks into the water, watches the stars go, and that ripple almost becoming hypnotic, I think. Again and again and again, and the feeling of her sash in their hand. They wonder what she would see if she was here. Why she made this. Why she does this. Could they understand if they could just see through her eyes? Could they see through her eyes?
You're a vessel, Litany. A vessel of hatred, but a vessel. You understand what it means to be possessed of someone else's intentions, someone else's senses. You are an extension of Queen Tigu. When you failed in the City of Heaven, you didn't have to tell her of your failure. She knew. She sensed it, felt it, saw it. You understand that. And so, you can externalize that through your divinity. That's right. How do you try to peer through Tiansheng's eyes in this moment?
In the Vessel playbook.
That's right, the playbook that I wrote for you.
My divine trigger reads as, when you risk life or limb to fulfill your purpose, awaken your divinity.
Okay.
Litany's divinity has been awakened for their entire life.
I don't think you've ever known it unawakened. It's never been closed to you.
But they've never reached out to take it. Suixian is the only one who ever really saw what they could do with it. How it was theirs and no one else's. How they can see her, how she can see them, into the soul. With a new breath that Litany doesn't realize they're taking, I would like to unleash my divinity for the very first time.
We have not seen this divine move in action yet, and I'm so excited to get into it. So, when you unleash your awakened divinity, describe how your godhood surges forth as you exert your will upon reality. You accomplish a single, brilliant feat with one side effect of your choosing. It is brief, it is obvious, or it is unstable. And afterward, your divinity becomes dormant once more after you've unleashed it.
Enacting your will over reality is not something Litany has ever done before because they have never had a will of their own. There has been no desire to drive them toward unleashing divinity because up until this point they've had no desire. But now they want to be close to her. They want to know where she is. They want to see through her eyes this world. And when they blink and open their eyes, they're not red. They're not the color of blood. They're not the waters that birthed them. They're hers. and I want to see where she is.
Okay. Okay, I love this. Where Tiansheng is. You open your eyes, and they're black. Beautiful, dark, void black with just a hint of brown. When the summer light hits it at just an angle, the memory of it flashes, and then you see through Tiansheng's eyes. And Litany, I need you to please make some space at the table for Prince Wu. Prince Wu, welcome to the game.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Godkiller Last Hope. If you've been enjoying this series, please consider joining Transplanter's Patreon at patreon.com/transplanterrpg. It's the best way to support us for as little as $3 a month, so we can continue bringing great performances like this one. If you can't spare the funds, please consider leaving a positive review or comment, posting about us on social media, or sharing the show with a friend that you think will enjoy us. Thanks to the support of our audience, we are continually able to do this awesome work. And you can purchase the Ashcan of Godkiller RPG on itch.io/by-Connie-Chong. The games for release will be published through Evil Hat Productions in 2025. And as always, our sponsors for this series are Frivolous Bear Studios and Hero Forge. Thank you for helping us create these powerful stories. And with that, our game comes to a close for now. We'll see you next time, right here on Transplanter RPG. Welcome to GODKILLER Last Hope. My name is Zoe Williams, and as the dramaturg for this production, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the viciously divine world of The Cradle. Last Hope is a dark fantasy series that deals with heavy topics, and content warnings will be shared before the show begins. Last Hope is performed live and in studio by Connie Chong and C. Thomas. Previously on GODKILLER Last Hope, Litany and Tiansheng hold back an entire army. Litany learns a new way of fighting, a mortal way. The greatest challenge comes in the form of General Zhong, an aggressive cultivator who replaces Prince Wu after his defection. General Zhong aims a deadly weapon at Tiansheng, but Litany takes the blow for her. As General Zhong retreats, Tiansheng rushes Litany to a medical tent. During their recovery, the rebels celebrate their victory and express their gratitude for Litany, who has never been thanked before. Tiansheng invites Litany to finish their recovery in a nearby hot spring. But when they arrive, she's nowhere to be found. A full recap of this and previous episodes can be found at transplanerrpg.com. And now, the game begins.
GODKILLER Last Hope is a dark fantasy actual play series that deals with serious and potentially triggering topics. Viewer discretion is advised. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, war, trauma, grief, interpersonal conflict, familial conflict with physical confrontation, blood, body horror, gore, alcohol and drunkenness, and kidnapping.
Prince Wu Zide, the screams of your broken, fallen men still echo in your head, even as the fire from the camp dances merrily against the walls of your tent. Tell me, how do you sneak out of camp?
Quietly, silently, like a mouse scurrying around a temple while others pray while they appreciate what they have. Sneaking out would imply that people necessarily care that you are there. At least I don't think people care that I'm there. So I leave my empty tent and I walk right out as everyone else is enjoying the victory.
I don't think anyone notices you. You are careful, you stick to the shadows, you don't linger, you don't draw attention to you. And Zide, you've been with these rebels for weeks now. And they were, of course, at first suspicious, angry, wary of you, even though you were able to pass through that protective divine veil. That did assuage their concerns about your malicious intents, and you, of course, abandoning your weapons at their request did assuage those concerns even further. But as the days turned to weeks, and as your help became evident, became authentic, as the truth of it rang through every body in that rebel camp, they began to welcome you. How does that welcome sit in your body?
Like a rock. Like a pit. Not because the welcome is heavy, but because I don't think I can hold it for very long. I mean, it's because of me that they don't get to stay in their original village. It's because of my father that someone that should have had a young life had to lead so many people. So I hold it in front of them. I try not to be impolite because these people, they care about the future of our kingdom, but when I walk away, I can't hold it for long.
No, you have to put it down somewhere. And I think you hope to find it back there, with the screams, with the battered bodies, with the men that he left behind to perish. And is that why you sneak out of camp? What drives you?
Well, responsibility is one driving factor. Responsibility is the only thing I've ever really had.
Purpose?
Purpose. Yes. Purpose, responsibility, care. If I can keep caring for the people that I've hurt, then I can also care for the people that he's hurt. The ones that don't know what they should be doing yet.
And so it sits not heavy inside you, but in a place where you hope to be able to put it down. This void, this stone. And it takes you the entire night, almost the entire celebration, to make it back to those hilly woods where that battle took place. And tell me what you're hoping to find, what you're hoping to do there.
Yes. Well, my hope, what I wish, is to find those injured soldiers, the ones that he leaves every single time. The soldiers that I told him are important, that every person in our kingdom is important, our soldiers and our people. I hope to find the wounded.
And we find you there now. And they're still there. Crumpled bodies in the ground, moaning and groaning. Some of them have fallen silent. You rush to those first. Check for a pulse, check for vital organs if they're still together. Some of their breaths have stilled. Others are salvageable. They can be healed. They can be saved. And so you kneel among the wounded, among these crumpled bodies, the moans resonating every now and then from the shades of trees. You start to help. And that's when a shadow falls over you, behind you, muffled by magic. A magic you've never been able to wield, but for some reason came to him so easily. And there is a hard, sharp, painful thud against the back of your head. You hit the ground like a sack of grain. When you come to, it's only been a few seconds, but you've been turned back onto your back, and even through your hair, you can feel the hot, matted mess of blood. Not enough to kill you, but enough to daze you, make you wounded, weak. And you see General Xiong. He stands above you, club in hand, his horse leashed to a trunk nearby. He looks down at you with those sharp, hungry eyes. They are glinting with disgust. The same disgust he's always gazed upon you with, but because he was always your reporting officer, he's never let it fully show. But now that he is commanding general of your father's entire army, He lets the mask drop. There's unfiltered hatred in his visage. If you were not the blood of King Wu himself, I would break your head open for being a weak, traitorous coward.
Do it then. Strike me down like you've always wanted to, General.
I need you to connect with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's unintentional, or maybe it's a kind of connection that's not like intimate and soft.
Yeah.
It is still intimate though, right? It's just not loving.
Because we've known each other for so long.
Yes, he was kind of an uncle figure in a lot of ways. This man in his 40s, his 50s as a cultivator.
He's always been there.
Always been there. Always been so loyal to your father. Has always seen you as weak, not worthy of the throne. So I think, why don't you tell me what the intimate thing is that you reveal to him in this moment?
The intimate thing is that I have always known that he despises my very existence. Yet I've shown him love anyway.
Somehow that hurts more than if you didn't. I love that. So I will reveal a fragment of their pain as they answer the other. What? My own game making me complicate this horrible man? Let's do it. So the questions are, what common ground do we share? And what still divides us? So which of these would you like to answer? It's juicy either way.
I think I'm going to answer what common ground.
Okay.
Yeah. Jidu looks at this general, this almost hateful uncle figure in my life. And I say, with a sadness but a sternness, we both clearly care about Twin. We have followed the king for, well, my whole life, and for you, as long as I've been alive, maybe even longer. I thought this was what I needed to do. In fact, it was what I needed to do. If I wasn't there, I think so many more people would be dead. But you've also been there. Even though it was through that questionable magic, even if it was through cruel tactics, you've always fought for Twin. Just like me.
Those eyes. That expression you're looking at me with. I know you're trying to extend me that sympathy. I know a part of you thinks that I'm monstrous, that I'm a bad man. But I'll tell you this, Princeling. Yes, I do care about Twin. I am not some selfish beast who just kills and allows people to be slaughtered for no reason. I do this for Twin. The king has a vision, the same vision that has steered our kingdom for 11 generations. Our people must be strong. We must be armed. We must have might. His family, your family, you are descended from the speakers, the very first mortals who served the god kings of the devouring. Do you know the sacrifices they had to make, the hard choices that were forced upon them to keep their people alive? The gods abandoned us! And we are better off for it. At least now we can make our own choices. And we, in Twin, we choose to be strong. Your family chooses to be strong.
Then why do we keep losing?
He starts to raise his club as if violence will answer that, make you shut up, wipe that insolent look off your face, and then he...
You still call me Prince. You have so much respect for tradition. Yes, our ancestors gave up a lot. And so have we. But you have to understand, you have to see. My father is failing us. The burden of responsibility that you feel is not one that you should have to carry alone. It's not one that I should have to carry alone. That's why I left. There are people in our kingdom that come together, that care. We don't have to fight against them.
You're right. We have nothing to prove. Your king, your father has nothing to prove to you. I have nothing to prove to you.
So join us. So put down your club. Violence is not the only thing that you can wield.
He lowers his club as you reach out to him, your head still bleeding, you still reeling. And in that pause, Zido, that brilliant pause, you see a man at a crossroads, the same crossroads you found yourself at so many times, your father or your people, your heart or his heart. And General Xiong makes a decision that is fully his own, with all the information he has at hand. Insolent fucking brat! And he hits you across the face and you reel, you see stars this time, you fall onto the ground and he's speaking, he's spitting at you. How dare you talk back to me? I raised you, I knew you when you were a boy. You think you know the world better than I do? You think you know the world better than your father does? And in this moment, Zido, you can feel his magic rising in the leaves that surround you, a surge of pure fury. You've seen him like this before. Unadulterated rage, righteousness that he thinks he gets to put on those weaker than him. Who do you call to for help?
Doubled over in pain, bleeding from the head, seeing stars. Jido tense his hands together and prays and thinks of the one person that defies all odds every single time, the one person that could take down my father, that could take down the general. I would like to pray to the great sage.
Tiansheng, yes! The hero you admire. The hero you wish you were. And as you pray, what words escape your lips and your mind?
Violence is a tool that some people use carelessly. But never you. I need you.
And Zido, impossibly, as the club comes up again, you sense a presence, cresting from underneath the hill, bounding over the shadows. Tiansheng, the great sage. And on that, Litany, please return. The table is ready for your presence once more. And Zido, thank you for your perspective.
Thank you.
Litany, welcome back to the game.
You see through the eyes of the great sage, Tiansheng. And through her eyes, you drop into her body. It's as though you are her, not exactly, a passenger in her mind, a visitor, a witness to what is about to unfold, a memory. You see her at the hot spring, bathed in mist, leaning over, using her magic to bid buds to bloom. As her hands go over the unopened buds of these bushels, you see them open up in a flutter of crimson, like droplets of blood greeting you. The smell of it hits her, and you smell it through her nose. Such a strong nose, such strong senses. How does she stay focused all the time? The mortal realm is so alive, and yet through her eyes, she takes it all in with joy, anticipation, nerves. There's nervousness inside of her, heady drunkenness to dull it, to give her courage, but the nerves are there nonetheless. She takes off her sash and puts it exactly where you had just picked it up moments ago, but it feels different in her calloused hands, familiar in a way that you hope to know one day. Yes, this is the truth, Litany. She places the sash down, and just before she starts to undo the rest of her clothes, her ear perks, and all of the ambient noises of the forest, the crickets, the birds, the leaves rustling, the breeze, it all fades away as she focuses on a prayer addressed to her. Words about violence, words about power, words about choice. And she recognizes the voice a little too well. Prince Wu. The first impulse is a desire to help. The second one is a bitterness about everything he did to her, to Mudan Village. But she knows which one is stronger, and she knows what she must do before her body even does it. What she's always done, what her purpose is, to help. And Tiansheng steps forward, and in that single step, a cultivation technique that a crane high in the mountains taught her. A 7-league step. A distance that would have taken a mortal an entire night to travel, she clears with a single foot forward, and then she's there. Back at the battlefield, the crumpled bodies of fallen soldiers all around, moaning, crying, some of them attended to, and the back of that general, his horse leashed to a tree nearby, club in hand, a bloodied Prince Wu at his feet, and Tiansheng's staff is out, volition is forward, and it comes down on the general before she can even think. And the general, as a cultivator as well, quickly raises his club to intercept. It is a second too slow. Tiansheng has always been stronger, is leagues stronger, older, more experienced, but he catches it. And there's a clang, and Tiansheng staggers, even as she says, the words tumbling out of her mouth in a mush. You put that thing away! Step away from the prince! And she and you and Prince Wu and the general realize what's awry all at the same time. She's drunk. She is so drunk the heavens can smell it. She is so drunk that it makes the tides of blood, the heady iron stench of that crimson river feel weak in response. And the general pivots away from the prince, who's slipping in and out of consciousness, and laughs at this golden opportunity as this great sage stumbles, catches herself on her staff, and then almost hits the ground. Wait, you get back here where I can hit you, you terrible fucking gah! As she stumbles forward, he catches her again. Oh my great sage, the fates bless me once more. Not only did this pitiful prince fall for the trap I laid for him, I knew he would come back. He always came back for his men. That was one of the weakest strategies he ever made us do. But you're drunk, and that makes you weak. And the club comes down, it hits Tiansheng, she catches it. Her staff clangs against her chest. It doesn't hurt her, but it does make her reel back a little. Look, you know what? Drunk to the hells and heavens back I am, I can still kick your fucking ass. She twirls volition and jabs forward. And if she weren't drunk, perhaps even if she were, but just 2 cups lighter, she would have punched his stomach so hard he would have seen the infinite stars reflected in that pool below. But she is 2 cups too deep. The jab comes forward a little too slow, a millisecond delayed. He blocks it with his club, is able to bring it up, and then he turns around, reaches into that cape, that furred cape of his, and pulls out a gift, just like the bolt, just like the hand crossbow, from Jianli. A circlet. It almost looks like a crown, but it's much too plain. It is gold, however, just like the bolt was, and he slips it over Tiansheng's forehead, and you feel it clench around her head, and you feel something horrific. Her cultivation powers, not draining from her, but being sucked into the pit of her soul and locked away. She no longer has access to the river, access to her magic. She's just a woman now, a strong fighter, yes, but not imbued with spiritual strength. And that's not all. The circlet tightens. It tightens and tightens and tightens until it all goes black. And the last thing you hear is the general's voice saying, 2 eagles with 1 arrow. Oh, I am blessed by the divines tonight. And Litany, you wake. Tiansheng is not there. General Xiong is not there. Prince Wu is not there. You are alone. This has just happened. What do? Rui! And we cut to Rui's tent, the general's tent. We see her pacing a tight circle, poring over the map of the city, then looking back up at you as you finish recounting your tale. She shakes her head, anxiety, concern, worry, determination in her face. And as she deliberates about what to do, not only Tian Shengong, the protector, but Prince Wu, their informant. Why, Litany? Why did you go to Ruli instead of chasing down the river seal, which is your key to the Ascension Gate, immediately?
She's not a river seal.
Isn't she?
No.
Then what is she?
She's immortal.
Why did you hesitate?
I didn't hesitate. I don't hesitate.
Maybe. Maybe not. And Rui clears her head and speaks. This was a devastating blow. Not just Prince Wu, but Tiansheng as well. And more than that, my friend. And Zidu, I was getting to know him as well. This isn't good. Regardless, not all is lost. Though the general is returning and on his horse, which is fast, it will take him at least until daybreak to reach the capital. 1 man. And even if the king learns about our plans, it will take at least several days for him to recall the armies he sent out. We still have time to carry out our plan. 箭在弦上，不得不发. The arrow is already upon the bowstring. It must be fired. A plan is already in motion.
Then let me fly ahead.
You? Alone?
I don't need anyone else.
No, you don't. Take a horse, the fastest one, my personal steed.
I don't need a horse.
Then how will you?
I'll move much faster without it.
I'll trust you to get it done. Please, make sure Tiansheng and Zidu are safe.
I will. And return to you.
We will be there by dusk of the next day. Go. And thank you. May the winds of change be forever at your back.
And may hope ring across every peak.
Sounding like one of the winds already. Now quick, fast. And you go. Litany, we find you on the outskirts of this rebel encampment, alone, with a sense of fervor at your back. The orders from Rui are already ringing out, and people are starting to pack up, they're starting to gear up, they're starting to mobilize themselves for an earlier trek than anticipated toward the capital of Chuancheng. How are you readying yourself for your journey throughout the night?
Litany walks to the edge of camp first.
The sun is setting. It's been setting. It's gone. The moon is still here. They learned that recently. It's called the moon. And every night it changes in a cycle. Isn't that beautiful?
Everything here is beautiful. You said so yourself.
Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, for beauty is or it is not. A horse is not as fast as the steed they are going to call. They left their flock behind. It's very likely that at least one of them, maybe, surfaced, tread through the shattered river with their broken soul all the way up here.
Which steed is it?
It's the Dao Show.
How do you summon him?
The same way I always have. The whistle. A call. A sound in their throat that's never been quite right. A sound that's somewhere between mortal and God, or demon, or monster. It sounds like a whistle, but if you can hear it right, it sounds like a song.
And the song comes humming out of your mouth. And as it does, wind, mist, magic swirls around your feet. It rises like smoke and covers your eyes, and when it dissipates, crouched in front of you is the Dao Shou, the man-faced tiger, the tiger-bodied man. And the last time you looked into the Dao Shou's eyes and face, you saw a mask, an illusion, a mirror. What do you see in that mirror now?
Myself. I've always seen myself. In that mirror is the thing. But this time, unlike all the other times, I want to see what the Dao Shou sees. What do they know?
They see you. Ta sees you. Seeing him, seeing you. And in this infinite hall of mirrors that is also called a soul, you understand something about yourself in this moment that feels new, but also feels buried, excavated, an act of necromancy which has always been Tigu's power, which has always been Longdu's power. Twins who were never meant to be separated, twins who were doomed to always be separated, broken apart, shattered like the sister realms. And in this moment, you understand with crystal clarity that you are making a choice for the first time in your unlife.
When I indulge a desire that pulls me from my purpose, I enact my mortal trigger and I clear all strain.
Well played.
I'm getting good at this.
It's in your nature. That's what this story is about if you know how to listen. Clear all strain for me, please, Litany. Let's wipe the board clean. And let's center you. The Dao Shou lowers its front two claws and allows you onto its back. You see a spine of thorns rippling down, down, down its body, ending in a tufted tail that can shoot poison, if only told how. And tell me, how do you ride the Dao Shou?
Like they were born to it.
since they've been within part of the Dao Show, they understand. They understand how its mortal face is not a mirror or a mask, it just is. They know where its bones are, they know how to move their body in its way, and they make themselves part of it still. They are part of it still, they've always been part of it still. Made from that river of blood that connects all of the underworld. The waters that birthed them.
What is the river of blood but an artery? What are you but its heart? It thrums in your ears. You get on the Dao Show, and you go. Riding the Dao Show is like being one with the wind. It feels like the embodiment of Zephyr. You rush through the night, hills flit past you, shadows, trees, mountains, valleys, towns, darkness. The moon is your only constant companion. It follows you, and even then it turns gradually through the sky. A regular person on a regular steed would have taken 2 days to reach the capital. You take only a single night. And that's what you need. You need to take advantage of this moment because the Dao Show will not survive until daybreak. It is only here for as long as your mother's domain stretches across the mortal realm, as long as darkness blankets this place. And then the mist will recede and so will it. But you put its arrival to good use. And right before dawn peaks over the horizon, right as the darkness is starting to show hints of light underneath its surface, you see Chuancheng, the capital of Twin. Now, you have seen the Necromantic Palace, and you have been to the City of Heaven. This is your first time feasting your eyes on a proper mortal city. Not a hamlet, not a little village, not a town, a city. And yet, it is barely the size of an underworld district. A single neighborhood, nestled in a valley against that silver river, which runs through the entirety of Twin, a river city, with walls, yes, to keep people out, to keep people in. You see it from the top of a hill, and then you go down. There are fires lit, guards on the ramparts, but not very many, not nearly enough. And as you approach the gates, how do you launch a one-man siege of the capital?
One man, one tiger siege.
Excuse me, pardon me, yes.
The impulse is there. Show no mercy, know no pain, kill or be killed. It's always there. It's a part of them. But there are more parts of them now. And the part connected to the Dao Show runs. It runs, it runs, it runs, and they have known exactly which direction to go. They're not from Yaolan. Neither is the Dao Show. But both of them, intrinsically linked to one another, they both know where she is. Their second chance. The great sage, Tiansheng. They know where to go. And they follow it. There's no need for guards if they can pass through walls as a ghost. There's no need to break through any ramparts if they could simply climb.
I love that. You know what? I would love for you to wield a power in this moment. Not yours, not a power you've seized from a god, which always just goes straight to your queen, but the Dao Show's power. So roll 2d6 for me. I think this is our first time using this move.
Do I add anything?
Yes. Add one for each true statement. You've done this specific act before perfectly.
No, I have not.
You're desperate for this to work. Mark 1 strain.
No. No. Desperation. It's not desperation. It's just the simple truth of being.
You know what? I love that, and I would adjudicate this as you can still mark 1 strain, not out of desperation, but out of effort to maintain that connection with the Dao Shou if you want to add that +1.
I'll take it.
Great, awesome. You're close to a shrine, lair, or a domain of the god you took this power from. Well, you're literally, the Dao Shou is not a god, it's a monster, but we can fudge the rules that I wrote. So yeah, you're literally on top of, you're riding it, so that's a 2, +2.
Okay.
That's a 4. Wait, that's a 6, that's a miss. That's really interesting, actually, I think. Technically on a miss, your power sputters and your enemies seize on your weakness. Suffer 2 strain instead to achieve the full effect before they can react.
Okay, hear me out. In Wield of Power, one of the things is you've wielded this power before. Not technically with the Dao Shou, but when Litany killed Suisian, they used their power.
That's right, and you used this move too.
And I did.
You did actually, yeah.
So could I add that +1 and make it a mixed success because I'm very cute and you love me?
How fucking funny would it be if I said no? Connie homophobic Chong. Yes. You know what? Yes. I'll give it to you. It feels right in this moment. And that might be our first just hit that you get in a long time. So on a hit, you do it. You just do it. You do exactly what you set out to do. You phase through walls. You go through the people of the city, those late night owls, right? The 24-hour bars, the crowds staggering from one tavern to another. The guards, eventually, when they hear the screams from passersby, from mortals of a ghost rider upon a ghost tiger with a man's face. And eventually, when the guards come pouring out of the alleyway, forming a wall in front of you, right in front of the palace itself, made of wood and stone, they raise their crossbows, they shout for you to stop, they fire the bolts, and the bolts just pass right through you. And the Dao Shou has an idea. You feel it flowing through Ta as Ta leaps into the air over the heads of the guards who raise their crossbows up with slack jaws and then lands with ethereal grace and then through the walls of the palace itself. And that's when dawn breaks. And as soon as the Dao Shou goes through the walls, you land on the floor.
I think the momentum carries Litany a few more steps through the air. 1, 2, 3, 4 until their feet hit the ground. Solid once more. Their connection to the Dao Shou severed for now. Never severed completely, but for now.
And it leaves the way it came, through mist.
And swirling out of this mist at the base of this palace, if you could really even call it that, is Litany. And they're here. And they do what they do best. They fight their way in.
I think we see guards turning to face you in this courtyard, fully physical now, corporeal. You've surfaced through the closed doors of the gate to the royal courtyard. It's like a Sihegren. So unlike a European palace or anything like that, it's a low series of connected buildings with open air courtyards and gardens between the main complexes. So the guards come pouring out of nearby buildings, swords drawn, and they rush you. And I just need to know one answer. Do you kill any of them?
No,
You tap them.
I tap them.
And then I think there's a moment where we hear a as the doors leading into the courtyard, leading into the palace itself, the throne room, where King Wu would presumably be. There's a moment where we see you push the doors open. The gates come out. And we see you limned by the light of the rising sun, haloing you in a perhelion of rosy crimson, like blood. You step over the threshold and into an open-air courtyard dappled with hawthorn trees and peach trees, all kinds of fruit trees. You see a low stone bridge arching over a bubbling brook. And on the other side of this courtyard, in front of the doors that lead into the throne room, you see him, General Xiong. He looks as you remember him. Hateful, hungry, large, burly, with magic radiating off of him, but not to the same extent as Tiansheng.
His club is out, he was pacing, and then he turns and sees you, slams his club against his hand. I've been waiting for you, cultivator. Something about a ghost rider. So is that your magic then? The magic of the underworld. A dark path to tread. Not very noble. Nothing honorable in shadows and illusion, if you ask me.
Litany just walks.
That's terrifying. Okay.
They just walk all the way up to him. They don't need a club. They don't need a magic weapon. They just walk. And when they're close enough to hit, they look this general in the face, in the mirror. Yes. Yes, it is. Let me introduce you to the underworld.
And they push with your gauntleted hand. Okay, yes. So I'm gonna need you to inflict violence on this guy. Yeah. Okay. So roll 2d6 and add one for each true statement. They wish you harm. Yes, absolutely. You're desperate?
No.
I don't think so. Not at all. It's personal?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. He took Tiansheng.
Yes. And part of her soul is still with them. So yes, it is personal.
Excellent. Roll them bones. +2. Oh, that's an 11. 13. Okay, we've done this move a lot. You lose yourself to Righteous Fury. That makes sense in this situation. The GM will tell you the costs of your divinity. So, General Xiong fled from the fight when he saw that he could not beat you, could not beat Tiansheng. He saw you take the arrow, and now here you are, still alive. And you see something in his face as your punch goes up and he tries to intercept it with the club that betrays why he stayed and didn't run and flee again when reports of you storming through the city came out. It's not because he's so brave that he would defend the king to his final breath. If he had his own choice, he might have gone the sneaky route himself, despite what he said about hating sneakiness and deceit. Might have tried to take the king and leave, flee. No. The reason he stays is because he thinks he can outwit you. Because he saw your sacrifice as weakness. Because he saw your sparing of his mortal men as folly. And he thinks your blow will not kill him, even though it can. But you do. Litany, in this moment, you lose yourself to Righteous Fury, and you kill General Xiong. How do you hit him? And how does he die?
Holy shit. Litany is not a stranger to violence in any way. If anything, it's been their closest companion, closer than Suesian, even closer than the flock, closer than their mother. Queen Tsigu, the first fallen, Lord of Death, beginning of the end, sovereign on low of the underworld, the Silver Tsilian. Turns out having a cause to fight for, to choose to fight for, it's no small measure of power. And it breaks against General Xiong's chest in a single blow, all the way in and all the way out.
You punch through his chest?
Yeah.
There's an explosion of crimson, a cracking of bone, and you see his heart plume outward. It paints the white lilies of the orchard red. His face is still cracked open with hatred, with that impulse, with that condescension, that sneering display of you are weak. And then his eyes pale. He staggers. He looks at your hands, which are daubed with his blood, lowers his club, it drops, falls onto the ground. Tunk, tunk. he hits the ground on his knees and he falls into the earth.
He's the first person Litany has ever chosen to kill. Really chosen to kill. I don't know if they understand the weight of it yet. They will one day.
You will. And how does this choice to kill him weigh differently from the choice to kill Suisin? How is it lighter?
Because in this moment, their purpose is not to kill the Emperor of Heaven, Longdu. Their purpose is to help people. And he dies.
Litany. A bold choice you've made. You feel something inside your sternum. Your heart? No. Your soul. You feel another crack, vein outward. It's been cracking this entire time. This is the first one you actually sense. It doesn't feel bad. It feels warm, like summer, like blood, like rain. And it feels hopeful. The doors to the throne room open, and out steps an attendant, a smiling, plain, congenial attendant who looks completely unsurprised and unbothered by the fallen form of General Xiong amidst the red dappled lilies. And she says, "Ah, you must be Master Litany. King Wu is waiting for you. Please, step inside."
Thank you so much for tuning in to Godkiller Last Hope. If you've been enjoying this series, please consider joining Transplanter's Patreon at patreon.com/transplanterrpg. It's the best way to support us for as little as $3 a month, so we can continue bringing great performances like this one. If you can't spare the funds, please consider leaving a positive review or comment, posting about us on social media, or sharing the show with a friend that you think will enjoy us. Thanks to the support of our audience, we are continually able to do this awesome work. And you can purchase the ash can of Godkiller RPG on itch.io/by Connie Chong. The games for release will be published through Evil Hat Productions in 2025. And as always, our sponsors for this series are Frivolous Bear Studios and Hero Forge. Thank you for helping us create these powerful stories. And with that, our game comes to a close for now. We'll see you next time, right here on Transplanter RPG.
Oh my goodness. Hello, friends. Wow. What a set of episodes. I fully forgot how gay it was. Well, I did forget, but it was like, upon rewatching, I was like, wow, this is like really gay. Like really, really gay.
Homosexual.
Home of sexual. And the little gay emojis that came up on the Twitch stream.
You're
I had
so
to
funny.
see what it looked like. And I'm so glad I did it. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in, for celebrating GODKILLER Last Hope, and helping us raise money for Care for Gaza. We kind of had a last-minute donation come in. I believe we're sitting at
500! It just happened! Let's go ahead! Let's go! Translators!
Let's go, Transplaners!
Woo!
Woo! Oh my goodness. Thank you, Northern Gale coming in again. Gale coming in again with that final dono. Thank you. And thank you to
Thank you all
everyone
so
so
much.
much. Every single one of you who donated, who was in chat, who like retweeted, like reposted rather, all of our posts on social media, all that stuff. Thank you so much. It truly is so incredible. We're going to be back to keep the love going tomorrow. That's Friday, June 27th at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time with a rerun of episodes 7 and 8. Those are the last episodes of the series, and they are devastating. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm gonna hold your hand as I say this. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be devastating. It's gonna break your heart.
Please show up! Please show up, though!
No, but put your heart back together. Wait, I'm sorry. It'll put your heart back together too. It really will. It will put your heart back together, and it is the biggest gay payoff that you will encounter. It's so good. It's our series finale. So we will see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow.
In the meantime, this is the last week and a half-ish for you to submit your fan works to our anniversary zine. We've been releasing a series of themed prompts for anyone looking for an inspiration or a challenge, which you can find on our Patreon, Discord, or social media channels. And yes, please do. You can, and also please do, resubmit any and all of your old fan works as well. So use !zine in the chat, or go to any of our social channels to share your art, illustrations, crafts, writing, cosplays, games, actual plays, or other creative endeavors that you have made to celebrate 5 years of Transplanter with us. Yeah, there's been so much amazing fan art in the last few days. And I'm like, what's going on?
We've been seeing the fan art roll in, and it's wild. It's so good. You all are so talented. You're also
amazing.
Talented. I want more. Give me more. Num 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 num. Yummy fan works. Num 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 num. They feed me.
Every fan work submitted to the zine gives Bao an extra treat, and right now he's licking his toes.
Oh my god, look at him.
Look at him licking his toes.
Look at this toe man. God. If you want him to stop licking his toes and lick some fan works instead, you can be the change you wish to see in this world. I'm like a god, and my hunger is fan works. That's my hunger. That's what I need to satiate it. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to our marathon rerun of Last Hope so far. We will see you tomorrow for episodes 7 and 8. Again, same time, same place, right here on Twitch or YouTube, 8 p.m. US Eastern Time. But in the meantime...
And don't forget that this Saturday, we're going to be streaming tomorrow, and we're going to stream on Saturday.
And Saturday, yep.
And Saturday is a very, very special
it is.
That's world-building playtest.
That's right, June 28th at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time. That is Saturday. Like C mentioned, it is a multiplayer GODKILLER world-building playtest featuring some never-before-seen mechanics of the full game that I've literally been working on all year. Like, I'm literally still working. Like, this week, I'm going to be polishing some of the mechanics we're using, like, in the next 2 days on Saturday. And y'all, it's a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to share it with you. I hope so, because I'm the designer. I never really know. But I hope it's fun. I hope it's good. And we're going to have a lot of fun playing through these mechanics and sharing them with you all, Transplaners, as the very first place where you will get a preview of this. Because that's how it should be. That's how it is, and that's how it should be. So that's what you get because we love you. So yes, journey well, Transplaners. Stick around in the Twitch chat for a raid. We're going to be sending the love over to someone really awesome right now, no doubt. So if you are on the YouTube, don't click away yet. Head on over to our Twitch page so you can join the raid and boost our raid. And use the raid message in chat. We'll see you tomorrow and Saturday for that full game preview. Be show.
Journey well, Transplaners.
Journey well.